I don't know if this artist has potential to be Ariana Grande big, but I think she has potential to be very big. Maggie Rogers. So 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, 2016, crazy is 2019. Pharrell goes to an NYU music class, and uh, the students there playing their songs. There's a YouTube video, so please type in Maggie Rogers Pharrell. And Maggie Rogers sits down, plays her song Alaska, and Pharrell's face throughout it is priceless because you can see him being like, "Holy shit! Like this girl made this! Like I can't believe it." He had no notes to give her to make her song better. Just said that it's great the way it is. And from that point forward, Maggie Rogers on the fast track to stardom, but it took her, basically 2 years to get her debut album out. She played SNL recently. She already has a sold out show at Hammerstein Ballroom in, I believe it's next month or maybe 2 months from now. Resale tickets for like close to $400. She's a hot ticket item right now. So did her first album meet your expectations, Dave? Heard it in the past life, good or bad?
Right. Well, first major label album, of course. She did have two independent or self-released projects from a few years ago, which I haven't actually heard. Yes, I thought this album fucking rules, man. Honestly, I liked almost every song I heard. I thought it moved at a great pace, and again, I can't speak to her earlier sound, but this current sound is pretty much just pop. But that's cool to me because I think this album fucking rules. And frankly, I thought the last song of the album, which is called with the
Back in My Body,
track 12, and that's like a triumphant, like finish line type song. I really like that. And sure enough, that's one of the songs that Greg Kurstin had a hand in. So that makes sense to me. And he also worked on a few other songs as well, probably 4 or 5. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Again, an artist I have not really been up on, and I didn't really know who she was at all until I heard about the SNL performance. So I was definitely late. But yeah, big fan. Definitely gonna pay attention moving forward. What about you?
Yeah, you were talking about how Ariana needed that big producer to kind of elevate Seven Rings, and Greg Kurstin's influence on this is undeniable. He actually was on half the track, so either produced, co-produced, or co-wrote.
Oh yes, the writing credits. I see them now.
So he had his fingerprints all over this, and I think songs like Alaska, which was already a great song. But Back in My Body is one that stands out. The Knife is another one that stands out. It has this classic club beat in the beginning and starts working in these like quick snaps and these like metallic percussion instruments like somewhere in there. It's really layered and textured. And that's the thing I think that stands out most to me. It's very poppy, but it's intricate. It's not just, it's not bubblegum pop. It's got deeper meaning in the lyrics. I think a lot of it is, using relationships as metaphors to talk about her rise to stardom and how weird that's been for her, how odd that experience has been. But each track gives you something different. And, you mentioned Back in My Body is a super triumphant ballad, but then like On and Off Again probably was my favorite song off the record. And that's a little bit more of a like a R&B-ish type pop song, a little bit more in the chorus. And I even think all the singles really stood out as well as songs that I would be revisiting. Like Light On, I think is just a really great pop song. Just fantastic. It gets stuck in your head. It catches you. I don't really have anything bad to say about this album. I didn't think there was really a bad song on it. I think it's a really great first debut for her. Studio album debut. For
sure. Yeah, I agree. I think there's a very little, if any, fat, which is pretty impressive. A really tight 40 minutes or so. So big fan of this.
What do you see her ceiling being at this point?
Yeah, she signed a Capitol Records, so it's not the biggest label. It's interesting because I'm curious. I mean, she has obviously Kurstin in her corner, but
and
Pharrell, sure. But she probably needs a radio song or a song to just take off on streaming, right? She needs something to get in those playlists to really just get a ton of eyeballs on her, in terms of the way it works these days. And I'm not sure if that happens with this type of pop music. I don't know, It's kind of, just in terms of the calendar, reminds me of Camila Cabello's album coming out very earlier in the year. A pop record, quite different than this, but kind of serve the same purpose in terms of what we had at the time. But she also was much more famous, much more established as a mainstream artist, right? Even though that was her first solo album. So I think Maggie Rogers definitely starting at the bottom per se in terms of trying to achieve big stardom. So I'm very curious to see what this does first week sales. I really want to see like how this streams because she has a lot of young fans. We need to know how many there really are to get a sense of how big she can get right now.
Yeah, a couple of the articles I was reading said that on like the indie rock list, she was some of her songs are doing pretty well, so she might gain some of that attention. I think just in terms of ability, from what we see on this debut studio album, she has everything that Haim has. I think that I even hear elements of like Taylor Swift, a little bit more poppy than Taylor's beginning was. So I think she has a really high ceiling. It's just, I don't think this record is going to be mainstream enough to propel her at this point. But I think certainly, like you said, having Kirsten, Pharrell, and I think she has a lot of other backers in her corner for being only 24. I think we're going to be hearing about her for a long time. So really excited about Maggie Rogers, and we will be adding probably one or two of her songs to our playlist. So go to Spotify, follow Nowstalgia Best of 2019, where we will be updating that weekly.